There he was up there again today, talking about, he could barely pronounce it, hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin, Z-Packs. Maybe you've taken them before. I've taken them. When I had the flu, January 2nd through about the 15th or 16th, I don't know if it was the flu or not, because at first they told me it was the flu, not the flu, and then they said, oh, yeah, maybe it is. But they gave the Z-Pack, and just to prevent secondary infections, because, antibiotics do not work against viruses. We all learned that in freshman science, didn't we? Or before that. Anyway, I digress. There's Trump up there again today touting this bullshit that he seems to think that all America wants to hear, that there's some magic drugs out there floating around, and only he knows the names of them and where they are and how to get them out to the public. I mean, this is what Common Dreams had this up today, asking media to stop live streaming this bullshit, which I agree. Well, what's the point? But they're specific. This is what Common Dreams had. Trump appeared at the White House Daily Briefing on Monday evening, where he again, despite public health experts warning the extreme danger of doing so, he again touted the unverified effectiveness of specific drugs in treating the coronavirus. When you stop and think, if I had a headache and there was no virus around, if I had a headache and Trump said, hey, you ought to try aspirin, I would run the other fucking way. Well, I'm going to take medical advice from this numbnuts? This son of a bitch? Are you kidding me? But there he is, because he's a war president. Where was I? It's appalling. Trump using his press conference to again start touting misinformation about a drug not approved by the FDA for anything other than what it's specifically approved for, a bacterial infection. And this is even after a man died of self-medicating with the drug after listening to this orange son of a bitch. Matt McDermott, a Democratic strategist and pollster, after watching Trump today, tweeted this: media, stop live streaming his misinformation. This literally killed somebody earlier today. How many people will have to die? Now, what they're talking about, a man died in Phoenix after self-medicating with chloroquine phosphate to treat COVID-19. This was in a statement today. The man's wife, who also self-medicated with chloroquine phosphate, is in critical care, according to this hospital. The man was in his 60s, as is his wife. Banner Health is the name of I guess it's a hospital, did not identify either of them by name. And the death of one and the other one being in critical care came just a couple of days after the orange asshole suggested in a tweet that a mix of hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin could be an effective treatment for COVID-19. And neither drug has been approved by the FDA or the WHO as a treatment for the coronavirus. On Saturday, day before yesterday, after Trump endorsed this bullshit idea of his ricocheting around inside his empty fucking head, he endorsed it on Twitter. Nigeria reported 2 cases of chloroquine poisoning. That led Nigerian health officials to issue a warning against using the drug to treat coronavirus, which was echoed by Banner Health in Phoenix after this man died. I mean, this is a problem with having an ignorant, savage son of a bitch who doesn't know anything. Seriously, come on. He doesn't know anything about anything except maybe how to grab women by the pussy because they love it, especially if you're a star. Right? Common Dreams reported earlier today that Trump has already been accused of gross negligence for repeatedly touting the effectiveness of chloroquine phosphate, this anti-malarial drug. In spite of warnings from health experts that chloroquine has not been tested for treating COVID-19, but Trump continues to falsely claim, he did it Saturday, he did it Sunday, he did it today, that the evidence for chloroquine's effectiveness treating the coronavirus is, in the ignorant fucker's words, very strong. According to an alert from Banner Health earlier today, this is what they put out in the hospital in Phoenix. Quote, medical toxicologists and emergency physicians are warning the public against the use of inappropriate medications and household products because some dumb fuck who wallows in the Fox News sewer put out that if you gargle bleach, it'll kill the virus. These are the kind of people that the Fox sewer attracts. These are the kind of people that Trump attracts. But anyway, inappropriate medications and household products to prevent or treat COVID-19. In other words, they're warning you, stay the fuck away from them. In particular, Banner Health experts emphasize that chloroquine, a malarial medication, should not be ingested to treat or prevent this virus. They added this. Given the uncertainty around COVID-19, we understand that people are trying to find new ways to prevent or treat this virus, but self-medicating is not the way to go. The last thing we want, as I mentioned a second ago right now, is to inundate our emergency department with people who put themselves there from doing this crazy shit that this orange fucker's talking about at his circle jerks every day. Don't listen to this shit. If you're if you're listening to this podcast, you don't listen to Trump. I understand. Critics of Trump repeatedly condemned this bullshit from him as outright false public health information from the presidential podium. Matthew Iglesias at Vox wrote earlier today, quote, airing, what is today? Is today Tuesday or Monday? This is Monday. I'm sorry, I get lost. Matthew Iglesias at Vox wrote earlier today, quote, airing Trump's daily so-called briefings live misinforms people and undermines public health officials. He went on, when a person turns on the television and sees the President of the United States giving inaccurately optimistic assessments of the progress of testing, vaccine research, and treatment, it encourages people to be less careful with their hand washing and social distancing than they otherwise might be, and that costs lives. Trump doesn't give a fuck about lives. He doesn't care about anything or anybody, and he is an ignorant savage. Don't we all know this after 3.5 years? Actually, after 4.5 years of listening to this piece of shit, don't we know this at this point? And to have him standing up there with one medical expert, Anthony Fauci, who wasn't there again today, it must grind on Fauci to the point where he just wants to. What was this picture I saw on Twitter today of Fauci like this when Trump is talking? And I don't know how Fauci puts up with it, to stand next to this lying, crazy son of a bitch. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. You have your choice. You can listen to The Ranting with the audio podcast, or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.